Well, hello everyone, it's me, Oh God. It's been a long time since I played Evospace. Since the new INDEV version 0.20 is online and have many changes, let's try playing a bit of it, shall we? But before we start, I wanna ask you for your forgiveness because I know that my voice is not very good and have a lot of static on it. I tried many things, changing plugins, configurations, but instead it is my old PC with more than 10 years of being made and a lot of low quality pieces and microphones that make this happen. So sorry if I am not a professional like many authors you probably watch. Let's create a new map here. The name is of course our little isekai, and we prefer to choose plains and coast. Now let's look for a interesting starting up. Don't need to be that much of interesting. Just want some big area to build on spawn, because for now we don't have ways to get much ore around it. And it might actually take some creations to keep them happy. So let's try the first one here and see if it's gonna keep it or skip it. Now let's look at because you see for now the spawn of ores is kind of how it is. We cannot actually create any more than the spawn, I believe. So let's see what we have here. Pyroplite, Cinnabar, Ruby. We have Malachite here, Dracopyrite, and have Magnetite. Yeah, it's actually okay. It is very okay to do first. First, let's look for the primary resource of the to require, that is, in this case, copper and a little bit of coal. Unfortunately, we have no way to actually open up the minimap. There is an option here for minimap, but it don't actually shows up. Let's run into this direction here. You have the new clusters. Now the ores before was an kind of invisible. It is still invisible vein, and you could get from a distance. But for now we have the same mechanic, but the range now is very short. Now you have these clusters where you can harvest the raw material for a good amount of time. So let's go here and harvest some malachite, because malachite is a type of copper. So let's collect some of this. Probably can't see, but that is here the amount of malachite we're getting. It's quite invisible actually. Let's grab some. Now let's go down here, and I believe it is. No, it's a little bit to the left. I think this is the coal cluster, because we need to feed the furnaces to do anything with it. And we have something to actually start. If you want, we can actually build between the veins here, because they are the most used for a long time, that is the copper, iron, coal, and cinnabar and ruby. Cinnabar is later on, but ruby will be very soon. Just need to see if there is any bauxite close by. Don't seems to be the case. I actually found some bauxite very far here. Yeah, but since bauxite takes a long time to actually enter our processing, I think it's okay for us to build it right here, close to the coal, to the copper, and to the iron. Let's get some of the platforms we start the game with and build a nice 9x9. There we go. Why not make it bigger? Well, for a simple reason that later on when I open the more options to decoration and blocks, if I make the basic platforming too big, it'll take a lot of time to get it back. So for now, let's make some stone furnaces. Let's make 5 of it. And also, let's make at least 2 stone smelters and maybe some chests. Let's put the stone furnaces down here. Let's put one here, another here, and put the top part in one here and one here. Now let's add some fuel. I'm gonna hold Alt and press the left mouse to identify items at once. Alt, left mouse, 5 items, and same thing here and here. So we start cooking our ore. And you here are going to be for the future. So just wait there for a bit. Now we are cooking with the copper. Of course, if I made another one right here or use the other ones, it's gonna be a little faster. But we don't need to go that fast actually. Let's pick some of the copper here. And let's build the unsteely engine. A compact generator. Let's put more copper to produce, of course. And the copper computer. Almost done to really start the game. Now let's make one copper cable. Let's take the copper stealing engine and put on top of the stone furnace. You can press this A here with side icons to enlighten the inputs, outputs, and everything else. Put the generator on it with the yellow to yellow. I'm gonna put one cable here and the one computer into the side here. Now let's give it a lot of copper. Press G to start researching the necessary components. For now, let's start with the basic machines here. Then automation. You probably don't want to keep constructing everything by hand or getting materials, so you're going to require the automatic mining. They're going to need the automatic farming and then constructor. And finally, but not leastly, my favorite, copper rack to hold the items. And the first research is completed. Basic machines. Now I have access to the hammer and the copper macerator. That's going to require more materials. So let's collect the copper and put more to smelt. Now I can make a hammer, but for that I'm gonna require also a stirring engine, because the hammer works with the kinetic energy, and that is produced by the stirring engine that requires heat to produce it. Now we are starting it. Now I got my second research, that was the... but I forgot which one, the arms. But for now let's collect more copper and a little bit more of coal. For now everything is manual, but very soon gonna be autonomous. That's okay. Now let's grab some coal to power the furnaces. And now let's go back. Now let's put some coal here to power the... oh, I already put some on it. But it's okay, those machines are heavily used anyway. Let's get the rest of the copper here. And I can actually make another stirring engine and the copper macerator. And make some arms actually. I'll put the stirring engine here, facing me. Put the macerator here. Very nice. Now let's put the ore here. And you start to break. The thing is that when the hammer break it, we gain a surplus of resources. It's not showed here, but we get 50% extra resources. So for every 2 broken malachite ores, we gain 1 extra. So 1 stack become 1.5 stacks here. So we're going to get a lot of extra ore build from our ore. Now I can place it inside the macerator. Macerator do the same thing. You're gonna turn the malachite gravel into the dust, as you can see here, and you get an extra 25% ore for each one. So for every 4 ores we macerate, we get 1 extra. So 50% here, 25% here. Now left to do is to actually put it to be inserted into a furnace, like so. And then I want to remove it later on. Let's put out the coal here, a chest here. So now we are kind of autonomous. I'll put this one here to put the ore. And this way we have a little bit of automation. The ore is crushed, then macerated, then smelted, and put inside the chest. Very easy. Now, why did I put a wire here instead of connect the computer directly into the generator? Because the generator generates 1 kilowatts of power, but the computer only uses 400. So this can actually support 2 computers. And the computers give us 1 research point every second. So this would take 48 seconds, I believe, to be made, but with 2, it's going twice as fast. Like so. Now the 1 minute becomes 40 seconds. You can see kinda here into the corner. It's difficult because nothing has shadow here. So this is the basic of it. Yes, it's a slow process, but it's doing something. Now let's collect more copper so we can actually continue building up. So this is gonna cut here and return a bit soon. In this case here, my last research has finished, so now I am idle. You can start researching odd stuff that you want. Probably want to get the bricks, so have a better block to build it. And this one is actually necessary to do what I want. So I'm going to research it as well. And you can start looking at other stuff like upgrade the inventory, the better furnace, starting circuits. But I'm going to pick heat pipes and the better furnace because I use those a lot. And that is going to open the oven to make charcoal and coke by myself. So let's do that as well. Now have a queue of research to do it. But to complete it, we need to actually keep it powering up. So we're going to require more coal. Now before I finish this, don't need to actually use the machines as they are here. We can rotate them into any axis, like I can do this here, and kind of drop it into the floor. Like so. Same thing with the other ones like the stirling and the generator. For some time you're gonna take the ways to do that. Now why I made this? Because I'm going to make a copper constructor. It's a very expensive machine that ate all of my copper and did not make it. Because I have problems here. As you can see, the recipe requires army, plates, gearbox, and this part here. And the game is a little bit confused. Because it's pulling the parts here. I'm just going to wait for this to give more resource before continue. I require 23 whole coppers to do this. Now I got all the 23 copper plates. Now let's make a constructor. You see that somehow 6 remain here for some reason. Now let's put it here, connect the power to power, and give it some coal. Why? Because I can come here and tell him to make the copper parts. As you can see in the tooltip, it has a productivity of 50%. That means that if I put it through, two copper plates, I'm going to get 3. So this way I actually get more copper I get more constructions for my amount of copper I have. Because normally to turn it by hand is 1 to 1, but with the machine I'll make it 2. And it uses it into a variety of parts of the system. I'm still going to need plates and wires, but make the parts here, make everything more easy. Now let's make 2 arms here, and a chest. Let's put the chest in this diagonal here, 1 army removing and another army inserting. Let's turn the side here so it's direct correctly, And now everything is going to be produced and be placed here. And I can just place the plate here, and when there is space here, it's going to place inside, and this way making more of the material here. And as you can see, most recipes use at least one part or more parts. So by doing like this, it's gonna save you a lot of resources and have some extra. Oh well, I think this is a good start for the good point to actually stop it. So let's save it. You have to manually save it or want to trust the autosave. Anyway. This was Ungod. Thank you so much for watching.